All right. Good morning, guys. Today is Monday, May 8th. And as usual, we'll be going over analysis for US 30, gold, and EU. As you can see, I only have markups for US 30 today. So I've started sharing my charts. So for the people who subscribed, and I'm still fixing the subscription issue for other people, but for the people who are lucky enough to subscribe before the Square merchant got or ideally dropped, I give you access to everything. So you should have a link to my US 30 chart. So you have a link to exactly what I have and not just a screenshot. So you literally have access to all these zones, and I'll be sending this daily. So for those who are lucky enough to get in for, and I did refund your subscription fees because it was just too much for me to deal with at that point. But I'm hoping to get a new vendor sometime this week. So that's another reason why I wasn't able to do any gold and EU markups for today. So gold and EU today will be trading using trend lines. But as you can see, the trend lines for gold and EU are not really, they're all over the place. So price action, and given that it's a Monday, price action has just been all over the place. But for those of you guys who have access to the charts, you can see that price is rejecting from all this. So there was a supply zone within a supply zone here where price just tanked from, and price is crossing through demand. So right now for US 30, you can see we are having a death cross forming on the 5-minute. So in this case, we just need to see what area is around price. So ignore this weekly low for now. Remember, I normally start marking up the weekly low like on Wednesday or something. So I'm not going to mark the week because the week just started yesterday. So I'm not interested in the weekly low. We do have an hourly bearish low, daily bearish high, daily bullish high. Right now, US 30 is bearish, definitely. Gold is bearish. EU is just consolidating. So let's focus on US 30 and gold. So right now, what do we have? We have a 30-minute bullish zone here. So we have this demand zones. So I'm watching for the hourly bearish high was here, hourly bearish low was here. Really no other trend line I can see. I don't want to draw a lot of trend lines, but there's a trend line here that's down here. So that's another trend line. So we can use that for entry, but we definitely have this death cross forming here. So an entry for such a position would be, the best entry is if price closes and retests the hourly bearish low and also the daily bearish high around here. If we want to get in earlier, probably retest of this zone. So remember, if a death cross is to form, we expect the 9 EMA to be retested. So here we'll just wait for price here. Do the 50 pip TP, 50 pip stop loss. There you go. Okay, so that should be, so we'll just wait for price to come back up here. Gold, you can see we have this trend line right here. We did have a death cross that formed. Now we need this. If this candle closes as a bearish candle, it will have retested the 9 EMA, the 200 EMA, and the trend line. And so we need this candle to close as a bearish candle in order to enter the sell on gold. So we need a bearish candle below this zone. And of course, 50 pips TP, 50 pips stop loss. So hopefully tomorrow I'll have markups for gold and EU. So today, gold and EU, we only have the trend lines. We can use our, what is it, to see the trend. We can turn that on, and you can see we have so we have a sell zone. However, you can see the trend is still, the overall channels are pointing to the upside. Ideally, I would like these channels to point to the downside, but we're still in a sell zone, so we'll wait for a bearish candle on gold right there. US 30, this is what we're waiting for. EU, I really don't have any. You can see EU is squeezing between these two trend lines. I have nothing on EU, so I don't see an EU, the volume is ideally dead. So let's just focus on these two trades for now. Let's see what channel, see what channel US 30 is in. I'm pretty sure it's in a descending or it's in a sell channel. So you can see that if I hide this others and remain with the channel, you can see even US 30 that both channels are trending to the upside. However, we are in the sell channel itself. And I think we did get a 5-minute sell signal here that I took on some of my other accounts, but and also my EA is doing that. So yeah, let me turn that off. I don't like too many colors on here. So this little trend channel, it just like another confluence you can use, especially if you haven't gotten time to do any markups. You can use that also, that setting in there when you have a signal to get a prep. So remember, if this don't, if price keeps going, let it go. Remember, when a death cross forms, you almost always get a retest of the 9 EMA. So in any case, I would be looking for price to come back up, possibly at this daily bullish high. So I'm looking for something, but the only official trade that I'm looking for is this sell up here. So I do see this. And then we get a retest of the 9 EMA, whatever the 9 EMA is going to be. And then we continue to the downside. So in any case, right now, I would be looking for a buy. Just a quick, but I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna count that if I take it personally. So right now on my personal accounts, I would be looking for a buy to right price back up. But ideally, this is the best place you can enter a buy, because you don't want to enter. So never enter any trade in a no man's land unless you know what you're doing. So right here, so price can still retrace to the upside from here, but you always want to see what can price use to go up and to go down. So like this area, unless you're just doing a quick scalp, and you know what you're doing, sure, you would have made profits. And I was about to hit like buy before I started explaining, but I just don't want you. So it's not FOMO, it's just analysis, right? Because if we expect price to come back up here and do this retest, we there's no need for us to waste the space in between, and that's why you can always look at what's around the zone you're in. So on my MT4, I do have trend. So I always tell you guys, draw your trend lines on MT4 and do not delete them. So on my MT4, I do have trend lines that were supporting this buy right here, this quick buy. Now right here on this chart, of course you cannot see them because they're on my MT4, but if you have an analysis and you expect price to retrace and come back and fill you in, look at what areas or what zones you have where price is at, and then use those zones to possibly ride price back to where you're at. So ideally, you're counter trending, not blindly, but you're using confluences to counter trend. So remember, never ever enter any trade without seeing the zones that are around where the trade is. So regardless if it's trading with a trend, trading a reversal, make sure that before you hit any buy or sell, you know why you're entering that buy or sell. It's either, do you have any zones around that zone? Do you have a retest of the 9 EMA? Do you have a retest of the trend line? So for example, for this particular strategy, which is a strategy I just use for my own personal accounts, is that if I'm expecting this price to come back up here, because I know if a death cross is forming, you normally get a retest of the 9 EMA or 200 EMA. I know that, oh wait, there's no need to waste this area right here. So here I don't have any high low. So point of structure, I don't have any high low. I don't have any EMA to use. I don't have, what's the other one you use? I don't have any trend line. But on my MT4, I do have a trend line. So that's what I used, or I would have used right here to catch a quick 10 or 20 pips to ride price back to the upside. Now, another thing for these trades, you don't want to catch them for a long duration. It's like that retest of a trend line, of a static trend line that I normally talk about. You want to catch them at the first go, at the first retest of that trend line. You don't want to, and the trend line has to be a static trend line, not a hanging trend line. But yeah, so that's just something I normally do on the side when I'm trading, even on the live session. But this right here, this is the official trade that I'm waiting for up here, if that makes sense. And currently for the month, for the current month, we are up 0.5% because we didn't have any live sessions last week, Monday through Wednesday, because I was out on vacation. But we were able to make 0.5 on Thursday. Did we take any trade on Friday? Let me see. I don't think so. Oh yeah, we did. Wait, what about Thursday? Give me a second. Maybe Thursday. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, so just keep an eye out on US 30. Thursday was the 4th, Friday is the 5th.
The NZD shift.
Yeah, I'll go over that. I know it reversed to the upside. If it hits stop loss, it hits stop loss. So, you know, for me, I just set trades and I just let them do whatever they want. I'm trying to see. I want to make sure I marked up everything the way it's supposed to. Did we did have a live session on Thursday? I feel like we traded on Thursday because this 0.5% was for, oh, maybe Friday is when we didn't trade. So this 0.5 was for Thursday. We didn't trade on Thursday, on Friday? I thought we had a live session. Interesting. Give me 1 second. So let me try and remember. This is when I get stopped out of the USD CAD. This was NFP. So we didn't trade on Friday. We didn't have any trade on Friday. Okay. I don't know why I thought we did. But anyway, we're not gonna have trades every day. So yeah, so for the month so far, 0.5%. Last month we had a 3.9% return. March we had a, so since we started recording the returns, we are up about, this is about 7% or something. So, you know, that's pretty good for 2 months. Yeah, US 30. Yeah, gold, and this is why you want to wait for that closure above, because, you know, if you just forward on this candle, you'd be in drawdown. So so let's see, what are we looking at? We're looking at NZD, CHF, the reversal one. And also for those of you who had already subscribed, I gave you access to the breakout scanner. So you guys should be able to use that. I'm not going to be using the breakout scanner on the live session a lot because I want to be fair to the people who subscribe to it. I just don't want to give people like some random access to it. So the breakout scanner just gives you access. I mean, I can show it maybe this week before I get another merchant. But the breakout scanner can definitely give you a bunch of trades. So NZD CHF, this is the hourly. So we want to go to the 5-minute. Where was the entry? The entry was, and we were only looking. So this is the reversal indicator. We are only interested in sells. Let me see where we entered the sell from. This Forex miners is kind of jinxed. Every miner has its stop loss. So we sold at 0.56151. 0.56151. I think, give me 1 second. All right. Oh, I remember I entered it after this signal. So 151 was somewhere, you know what? 6151. Okay, I'll just do this. This was it 500 pips? I think it was 500 pips. No, I'm sorry, not 500, 50 pips. TP 50 pips stop loss. Yeah. So the trade is currently, and this is why I like a big stop loss for these reversals. So the trade is currently like 75% in drawdown. So the trade is still active. So right now, like the same thing I said last time, if you get stopped out, move to the hourly time frame to see. So right now you can see on the hourly time frame, price is so far away from the 9 EMA. So here we would want to scale in. If you want, you can still scale in on the 5-minute, but I do not recommend. Maybe scale in using higher time frames. So 15-minute, you can see we don't have any sell. 30-minute, we don't have any sell yet. So yeah, so at this point, just use the 1 hour time frame. Just use the 1 hour time frame. Wait for a sell. Wait for a reversal on the sell. On the reversal indicator. For a sell on the 1 hour, either that or 15-minute. This is ideally depending on you. For me, like same thing as USD CAD. And if you guys saw, like right now, I don't care what happens to USD CHF. I'm still in the trade. I had a 50 pip stop loss, 50 pip TP. And you can, I haven't scaled in because when price goes so far away from you, this way you don't want to keep scaling in just for the sake of it. And also, especially on the same time frame. So here, in any case, maybe the 15-minute time frame at best if I get a signal in there. But as of now, I am not looking to do anything for NZDCHF because you can see how bullish it is for now. And remember, the original trade for NZDCHF was caught on the breakout scanner. Was it NZDCHF? Yes, it was. Yeah, before we started looking for the reversal. This, I think it was like beginning of last week or something. So we had a buy breakout on the breakout scanner, and that's when we but at that point I hadn't started using the breakout scanner to catch the trend. So the other one that I showed you guys was USD CAD. So let me show you the one that Levy, I don't know if Levy is in here, but Levy and I were catching USD CAD. So we caught the buy on USD CAD. So let me turn on both buys and sells. So this one is still going. That's fine. So I think this is closed because it's closer. So where is that? When did we get faked out? I think it was, yeah, it was up here. So Livy and I got faked out for a buy on USD CAD here. We did the same thing, 50 pips stop loss, 50 pips take profit, and our trades hit draw down around this point. So at this point, this is when I said, if you're using this indicator and this strategy, don't keep, if you get faked out from your first, because remember you're using the 5-minute time frame to enter these trades. So if you get faked out by this, do not use the 5-minute time frame again to enter the trades, because you can see if you caught another buy here, you'd have immediately gotten faked out. You caught this buy, fake out, stop loss, near stop loss. So you can see, so what I said for this particular trade after we got faked out here, and that's why you see me going to higher time frames. I said I don't even care about the 15-minute and 30-minute. I'll go to the hourly time frame. And you can see on the other hourly time frame, what do you also see, right? Structure. I always say that these things, so last week I said the first point of, after we got stopped out, this area right here was the first point of structure to be completed. USD CAD blew past it. This was the next point of structure to be completed. We had a little bit of consolidation. And then USD CAD just blew past it. This right here is the last point of structure, right? You can automatically see this zone right here. So USD CAD has completed this structure on the hourly. Now, on the hourly, if you look at it, if I turn on even buys, so buys and sells for the hourly here, I'll use fast moving average. So you can see we don't have any buys as of yet, even on the hourly. Look at this buy that showed up at the bottom here. You could have easily ridden this buy. So this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for if a buy shows up on USD CAD on the hourly, I'm going in and I'll go in heavy to recover even the loss that I took here. So it's just a matter of patience. So yeah, that's why I insist, if you're gonna use this, and I did give you guys a warning, this reversal indicator can either make you or break you, because I can see a lot of people trying, after they get faked out, they use the same time frame, same thing I just drew up for you guys. They use the same time frame, keep getting faked out and faked out. But if you get faked out, move to a higher time frame. For me personally, I prefer the 1 hour time frame to catch the next reversal if I get faked out on the 5 minute. That's just my own preference. You can use the 15, if you use the 15 minute, you would have only gotten one buy here, and I think you'd have gotten faked out as well. So for me, who's waiting for a 1 hour time frame, I don't have any other trade that I've entered on USD CAD. On the 30 minute, I think the 30 minute didn't have any buy. Yeah, so the 30 minute didn't have any other buy to scale in for. So so you can either, if you get faked out on the 5 minute with the reversal strategy, wait for the 30 minute or 1 hour candle to give you the same signal in that direction, if that makes sense. So same thing here. That's what I'm waiting for NZD-CHF. NZD-CHF, but luckily with NZD-CHF, I haven't been faked out yet. So in any case, I might just scale in. So you see, maybe on the third, if I get a sell on the 30 minute or the 1 hour, then I will scale in. But until then, I'll just let this trade do what it's gonna do. So remember, there's always going to be a retracement, whether it's now, whether it's much later. You just want to be patient and just wait for your trade to be confirmed. Okay. So since it's only a few, since I'm still working on that payment thingy, let me share the breakout scanner just for today and see what we have with it. So this is the breakout scanner. Let's see, it's still, so it's coded with like all these instruments. So you can see we have a breakout on odd JPY. So if we go on odd JPY here, so we have a possible buy on odd JPY. The only thing about it, it's a bit over. I don't like using the word overextended because things can keep going higher, but we have a more probabilities for odd JPY to keep pushing to the upside. We have EuroCAD. EuroCAD is, so what ideally what I would be looking for here, how I use the scanner right now. I would check where odd excuse me, where odd JPY is, possibly even on the 1 hour to get a better picture. So on the 1 hour, you can see it's just been going up, right? So I would look at structure. So I can see possible structure to be completed by odd JPY around this zone right here. So odd JPY definitely has more, it can still go up. If you look on the higher time frame, this is where structure is possibly going to be completed. So there's two ways I trade with this breakout. And of course, it also depends on the time frame you put it on. Personally, I put it on the 5 minute because that's where I'm looking for the entries. If you put the scanner on higher time frames, I also want to make sure I don't get, so for this trade, remember how I told you guys, don't let a few pips keep you away from catching a trade. So you see the high of this candle was about what, 51, was about 4 pips away from the 9 EMA. So you could have gotten in around this candle. So the same way I normally tell you guys, when you have an entry, right, it's either retest of 9 EMA, retest of trend line, or retest of point of structure. So you always want to see which is going to give you the most optimal entry. So of course here the trend line will give the optimal entry. However, since this is a death cross, you know that almost always when a death cross is forming or golden cross, the retest normally happens on the 9 EMA or 200 EMA, because that keeps the, like in this case, the 9 EMA keeps price down. So in this case, you should have entered this sell on this candle, because by the time price was down, price was up here, the 9 EMA was only 1 or 2 pips away, 1 or 2 pips away. Our stop loss is 50 pips. So just getting in 2 pips earlier is not gonna make, is not gonna break your trade. You know that, you know, I've gone over this, like I even went over it like on Thursday and even on Friday. So this should have been the trade you should have entered for this one, but I wasn't on the live session. Well, I wasn't on this chart. But you know, I gave you guys all my strategies. So remember, I'm only counting the trades that I take personally on the live session and the trades that I call. But this right here should be the trade you guys should have taken. So I'll just wait for it, just for to, you know, so that I can't seem that I'm making up entries. I'll just wait for it. But that ideally would have been that if I was looking at the US 30 chart, that's the sell I could have, I should have taken, or I would have taken right there. So keep in mind, I have a ton of accounts. So I'm making money passively on other accounts. So this is not my primary source of trading profits. In any case, I'm here to educate you guys. So let's see. So yeah, I put it on the 5-minute time frame, but I'll come on the 1 hour and see odd JPY can definitely keep pushing up. Okay, so I'll go back to the 5-minute. So that's one way to go. I can either look for a buy right now on the 5-minute, or because I know there's a breakout on odd JPY, I know there's possibly going to be a reversal. So in any case, I can then include my reversal indicator in here and then look for a reversal for odd JPY. This is 9, right? So that's how you can use the breakout scanner easily to catch both buys and both sells. Because normally, right, when something is breaking out, you can catch that trend, but also what also is price telling you? Price is telling you that after a breakout comes a retracement. So that instrument is likely to also retrace. So here I would be looking for sells after, I would give myself maybe an hour or so, and then I would look for a 50 pip move. And I've gone over this, time and time again. So at some point I'll stop redoing this because it can make us miss trades somewhere. So you want to have a point of interest, then you want to have your breakout. So this is your point of interest. Actually, you know what? Let me do this just to save time. I know I've definitely, yeah. So you want to have an area of interest, draw your 50 pip. So if something is breaking out and you're looking for a retracement. So for example, let's assume this is odd JPY. So we already know odd JPY is breaking out to the upside. So we know that we're not catching a reversal right now. So we mark the area of interest first. We mark 50 pips because for me, I consider a trend to be anything that's 50 pips. So mark the 50 pip arrow like this, turn on with your where is that, with your reversal indicator, turn off the buys because you're not interested in buys for now, unless you just want to catch that breakout. But for the way you trade the reversal with the breakout is like, say you're interested in catching the sell after the breakout is over, so you only turn on the sell signals, and then you come in, you'd come in here, draw 50 pip arrow from your point of interest, meaning that you're not interested in any cells that will show up within this 50 pip range. And then you just wait for your sell after the 50 pip range, you enter that. So that's the same analogy. So we have all these instruments that are breaking out, CAD JPY, Euro CHF, Euro JPY, GBP JPY. So we have all those instruments that are breaking out on the 5-minute time frame. And you can see US 30 could have easily hit TP. So I don't know if anybody entered that sell, but this right here was that sell for US 30. The reason for that is that there's no need to wait for 1 or 2 pips. The 9 EMA was just 2 pips away from the top of this candle. So that shouldn't, scare you away or make you miss such a move. Let's see, what else do we have? Okay. Yeah, so that I don't know if and today is Monday, so I'm not sure. Gold is dead, ideally, no volatility. So EU is breaking below this trend line right here. Okay, and perfect. We have an established trend line on the hourly, so this is what we'll do. So this is perfect right here. So if this candle closes, this is EU. If this candle closes, I would look for a sell on EU here. There's a short position. And you can see we also have a death cross forming. This is the same thing with US 30. So this would be the sell on EU, 20 pips, TP, 20 pips, stop loss. And you can see also on the hourly, we are closing below this established trend line. So here we need a retrace. So we need this candle to close, and then we need another candle to come and retest this trend line and EMA and close below. And at that point, I will enter into the sell. So this right here, this was an, obvious trade, would have gone straight into TP just by 1 5-minute candle. I'm not gonna count it, it was a valid trade. I should count it, but I'm not gonna count it for the reason that I just don't want to seem like I'm making up trades. But that was an official trade. It could have been up 0.5% for the day. So right now I'll just wait on EU and see if we can have any entry. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, on that US 31. So you wouldn't have waited for the retest and close below. You just would have entered right
No.
on the retest.
No. So remember that the reason so there's two things right here. So there's the trend line, and then there was the death cross. The death cross is what got me into this trade, right? So you always want to see, of the three confluences of the trend line, of the retest of 9 EMA, of the point of confluence or high-low period, where would, what is your confluence for entering that trade? So for me here, I knew that sure, the trend line was going to give me a better entry. However, what do I know about trend lines, about death crosses and golden crosses? So when a death cross is forming, and that's why I said here, in any case, I was looking for the buy to go back up. When a death cross is forming and you have a trend line above it, remember the death cross is the 9 EMA crossing the 200 to the bottom. So what that happens, the 200 EMA, so the first thing, the 9 EMA is going to keep price down. If the 9 EMA cannot keep price down, the 200 EMA is going to keep price down. So more times than not, if you have a trend line above a death cross, price is not going to go all the way there. So knowing that, I wasn't going to wait for this. So that's why I was saying I needed a retest of the 9 EMA here, right? Because I said after a death cross, more times than not, you have a retest of the 9 EMA. Now, when price got to, so let me just replay this. When price got to this candle right here, what's the distance between the 9 EMA? Because 1 pip or 2 pips shouldn't let you miss a trade. So at the height of this candle, let me go back a little bit.
Michael, hypothetically speaking, if it would have came to retest a non-EMA and went through it, would you still look for that same trade, or would you stay out of it?
No, I would have still entered it, because this trend line here is a static trend line, right? The only thing that I don't trade are hanging trend lines. I don't enter off of hanging trend lines. That's the only thing. But if something is established, and I knew right here, we had so many confluence. You had a death cross, you had a trend line, an established trend line. So that's the point you can enter and retest. You don't have to wait for candles to close. You really, especially right now, because we had the death cross forming. So at that point, you really didn't have to wait for the candles to close. So here, when this candle was here, the 9 EMA was 33,657. The height of the candle was 33,478. And I don't even think that was the close of the candle. So yeah, 478, 578. So about a 10 pip difference. So yeah, for me personally here, I would have entered this trade. That one, the difference was 10 pips. Sure, our stop loss is 50 pips. However, you also want to look at how far is your stop loss from where price is at. So if price was to break both the death cross and invalidate the death cross and break above the static trend line, at that point, price is just turning to bullish momentum. Because ideally, if you go ahead and backtest all the death crosses, all the golden crosses, and all the static trend lines, you'll see that they hold price to whatever bias it's at. So it's ideally a probability. So it's not to mean that price cannot just blow past this zone. It can easily do that. However, remember, trading is a game of probabilities. So you never have 100% chance of winning any particular trade. But if your chances can be 90%, like for this particular trade, I would have said, hey, this right here, even by entering 10 pips earlier, this trade would have had like a 90% chance of winning. So for that, does the trade make sense to me? Sure, that's all that matters. I would have entered that trade and I would have made my profit. The only issue for this particular trade would have been there's no death cross. So let's say it was just a 9 EMA by itself and the 200 EMA was all the way somewhere at the bottom, and then you didn't have, and then let's say this was a hanging trend line, meaning it only had one point of origin, one high-low point of origin. At that point, that would have been a risky sell to take, because you're trading off of a hanging trend line. You were trading also against somewhere that doesn't have a death cross, but here you had a death cross. You had established a trend line. At that point, just get into the trade and that's it. That's all that matters. So if that makes sense. So as much as I can give you guys confluences like 9 EMA, trend line, high low, at some point you'll get trades that test those three confluences and you have a little gap between where price is at and your other confluence. So at that point, right, look at the logic. Why am I entering this trade? What do I know about golden crosses? What do I know about death crosses? That's it. And then you just enter your trade and you let it do what
We missed the EU trade. I think we missed it.
No, so right here, so remember so you want to, so this kind of broke and closed below the trend line. So you want to wait for the, and this is the same thing for the US 30. So here we want to wait for either the retest of the trend line, but if we wait for the retest of the trend line, what's likely to happen is the similar thing that happened on US 30. So this is ideally another example to show you guys. So when this death cross is forming, price, so let me do this. Let me get this. So this is definitely an entry, but this entry, you'd be entering on the entry of the candle that broke structure. I don't enter on impulse. I always wait for, I rarely enter on impulse unless something just makes sense. But if I'm using my three confluences, I'll say, if price wants to keep going down, let it go down. But what do I know? When a death cross is forming, prices will more than likely come back and retest the 9 EMA and be held at the very least by the 200 EMA. So at this point, I'm looking for price to come back and retest the trend line. I'm sorry, the 9 EMA, because this is, primarily I'm getting into this trade because I'm seeing what's stronger. I have a static trend line. Just a second. I have a static trend line and I also have a death cross. So for right here, when price comes back up and retests the 9 EMA on the 5-minute on EU, I'm directly entering into a sell. The reason for that is, as much as the best entry or the optimal entry is retest of this static trend line, what I know about death crosses is that the 200 EMA, if price breaks above the 9 EMA, the 200 EMA will more times than not keep price to the downside. So knowing that, and knowing that my trend line entry is above the 200 EMA, there's no need for me to wait for price to come above or to come to the trend line. Not to say that it cannot, but the probability is that price is going to come, retest the 9 EMA, and then go all the way back down, if that makes sense. So same thing we just saw on US 30. So I just don't want to miss a trade because I want to have a no drawdown or a zero drawdown trade. For me, the only thing that ever matters with any strategy that I have is that I'm sticking to my strategy. I don't care about drawdown. I don't care about stop loss. I don't care about take profit. I just care about my trade playing out. And once you do that, you'll be able to fight FOMO. You'll be able to catch good trades. Yeah, so US 30 at this point, I'm not looking to do anything. US 30 is still bearish. Yeah, it's heavily bearish. Even on the hour, is it the hourly? What do we have on the hourly? Yeah, US 30 is heavily bearish. So not really looking for anything else. And since this trade has already gone, I'm not looking to even re-enter or enter any trade on US 30. Gold, say gold has just been consolidating EU. So let's see how the trend that EU is in. Show trend. So right, go EU is the same thing with gold. So both channels are trending to the upside. However, we are in a sell channel. So ideally, if I'm looking for sells, I would like both the green and the red channels to be descending. But that's not a deal breaker for me. So long as I know that price is automatically in the sell zone, that's fine. Remember, these channels are lagging. So eventually, if EU is to break down, eventually this will shift to the downside. So yeah, so I'm just waiting for EU to shift back to the upside, and then I will catch this. So let me actually bring this down here. And stop loss, unfortunately, I don't have any markups today for EU and gold. But I like the stop loss because stop loss is above 540. Stop loss is above this static trend line to the upside, so that works for me. So it's just a matter of waiting. Yeah, if anybody else has any other questions, feel free to go ahead and ask. I can see, I don't like drawing hanging trend lines on the 1 hour, but this is a hanging trend line on the hourly because we have a established point of origin. We have this point right here that I'm anticipating it to be a high low, but I just don't, for the 1 hour, I like drawing established trend lines. I don't like drawing trend lines that are not established. Yeah, and I don't think we did have any news for today. In any case, let me go ahead and update this. Yeah, but if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask. Remember, it's Monday. There's always going to be trades, especially later on after the live session has ended. And for you guys who now have access to my trading charts, right? So you have access to all these zones that I've drawn up for you every day. And so for this, another way you can use these charts or these markups, if you get a buy signal on US 30 and it's around this demand zone within a demand zone and price is above the 9 EMA, right? That's a no-brainer. So you can use these charts however you want throughout the day, and I'll be giving you an updated chart every day of the week, so long as I'm not on vacation or days like this when I had a late start to the day. But normally, so ideally you get a chart like that's similar to what I'm looking at on my computer. Monday, May 8th. Yeah, so you can see there's no news today, and I think we have CPI on Wednesday. So this is another good week to look out for reversals and breakouts. I do see a trend forming on US 30, a possible reversal, possibly later on at around, at around 264. If this reversal, if this trend keeps going, I do see a reversal at around 33 250 zone. So let's see what's around 33 250. There you go. We already have demand zones. So some of these things I'm able to identify just automatically, but at least with the indicator does that as well, right? Because the indicator is based off of my logic. So I do see, if this trend is to continue, do see this, right? What did I say? 250 right here. We have a lot of demand zones, so easy for price to go back and reverse from this zone. So if this trend is to hold, I do see this and this. So that's automatic. I can, just by looking at the chart, I can automatically tell that we're in a trend, right? And then if we're in a trend and I don't want to FOMO to catch this and would rather wait for the reversal, I just draw what I'm thinking price will do. And then I just wait for price down here. And once I get that reversal, and for me, I don't need the indicator, like I can automatically tell, but I'll just come in here. If you're using the reversal indicator, just wait for the buy down there and you're golden. So long as you don't get any buy in this, anywhere in this zone. So I'm not interested in buying US 30 for the next 500 pips. Yeah, and right now price is ideally dead as well. Yeah, so I don't think there's any, so you guys should go ahead and ask any questions you have. You can see there's no liquidity in the market. There's nothing to push price up or down. We might not get this retest of the 9 EMA at this point. We might even get it somewhere down here because of how, you know, there's barely any liquidity coming into the market. So yeah, today we might have to cut the live session short. So no trades for today, didn't take any trades, so 0 there, even though ideally the sell that I marked up right there would have been the trade to take for the day. Yeah, does anybody else?
Yeah, I was saying that I think there's a trade coming on USD CAD. I was already in that trade, so maybe if some of you wanna catch.
USD CAD for off of what time frame? Because there wasn't any trade unless you're using the 5-minute time frame.
It's been trending
yeah.
down for a very
I
long
was
time.
using 5 minutes.
Yeah, if you're using the 5-minute, sure. Yeah, this is a buy. However, for me, since I got stopped out, I am waiting for the buy on the 1 hour. But you're right. So you see, this is what I want to see. So you're right. On the 5-minute, yes, there is a buy on USD CAD. However, for me, I would like to see the buy on the 1 hour because you can see, and right. So same thing I analyzed today, right? What did I analyze? I told you guys USD CAD literally completed structure right here. And what is it doing? So same thing. So, you know, some of these things they're sometimes too easy to notice. There you go. USD CAD completed that structure, had a strong rejection. Yeah, so that is a buy on the 5-minute. So yeah, you're right. That is a buy on the 5-minute. Personally, because I already got now, if I hadn't gotten stopped out here and I was just noticing this trade now, I would enter. I would have entered right there. But yeah, you're right. This was a perfect entry based on the reversal. Personally, I will wait for the 1 hour to get a buy there. The 30-minute is also doing a buy. So in any case, I might enter on the 30-minute candle if this candle closes. So remember, when you get stopped out with the reversal strategy on the 5-minute, move to the 30-minute and move to the 1 hour and wait for another entry there. If you want to keep entering on the 5-minute, know the risk. So for example, I did show you guys this. So this is a trade that Livy and I got into for USD CAD initially that we ended up getting stopped out. And you can see if we kept jumping into this little buys, right, USD CAD just kept melting to the downside. So just know if you're going to enter on the 5-minute, make sure you know what can happen because as much as you're trying to catch a reversal, price can keep trending and keep faking you out. So just to be safe, if you get stopped out on a 5-minute time frame, move to the 30-minute or the 1 hour and wait for another. So you can see on the 30-minute here, after we got stopped out here and I just waited for, so I've been waiting on the 1 hour, but even though I was waiting on the 30-minute, I never had any buy up until now. So yeah, if this buy closes on the 30-minute, I will enter a buy on USD CAD.
So sorry to cut you. Just a question: how do you the confirmation for a buy in a higher time frame, like 30 minutes or 1 hour?
Same thing as a 5-minute. Same thing as for 5-minute, right?
Okay.
So yeah. Because you want to have price consistently close above the 9 EMA. However, right, this could have been based on that, and that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it takes like with this indicator, I've had it coded to meet all confluence because ideally this should be a buy, because ideally what we want to see is closure above the 9 EMA, retest and closure above. However, if you entered this buy, again stopped out, but the thing with this, it also checks for structure, right? Because if you look at the structure, right, at this point, because now we have this closure above the 9 EMA, and so long as this next candle closes above the 9 EMA, that will be a valid buy, you know, as opposed to this buy right here. The reason this buy didn't work out is because USD CAD still had a long way to go to complete this structure to the downside. So sometimes while entering either a buy or a sell, look for, especially for the reversal, look at the higher time frame and look if there's any possible structure that has been completed. So yeah, this right here, this is a perfect buy. Because if you look to the left, right? So if this structure is to break, it can break for maybe another 50 or 40 pips. But you can see right now, this right here is strong structure because it was structure here, it was structure here, structure here. So this is strong structure right there. Yeah, so if you're moving to the higher time frame to look for entries, make sure that you also look at the structure of that particular instrument. Yeah, this. So where did you catch the buy? Did you catch it on this particular candle, or where did you catch it?
But I did the same that you are saying. So I was waiting. I was looking at the structure of the market. So I was looking at the imbalance.
Mm-hmm.
So I went down, and I put an alert on the lowest price.
Mm-hmm.
And when the price came at this point, I was just waiting for a signal in 5 minutes. So I took the buy, I think, like 1 hour ago.
Mm-hmm.
Not that one, just not the last one, but that before, the one
Okay.
before.
Okay.
But,
Yeah. No, that's
just another-
perfect.
Sorry.
No, go
Just
ahead.
another question. I saw that in 30 minutes there were a buy signal. So I was wondering why is there a buy signal if the candle isn't yet finished, like it doesn't wait for the next candle to finish.
So it does. So right here, I'm pretty sure I have it on fast moving average. So if I put it on close, it will go away. So remember with this indicator,
Okay.
right? Yeah, but on the higher time frames, you want and you can see this buy that I was talking about here that's invalid. So yeah, if you have this indicator, play around on higher time frames, 30 minutes or 15 minutes and above. Fast MA, I think Fast MA has been useful. On the 5 minute, use close. So here, if we go back on the 5 minute, so let's, for example, go back on the 5. So you have to do a lot of back testing. Yeah, you'll still have that buy. So on the smaller time frames, use close as the source. On higher time frames, use fast MA or as close. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, no, good job. Good job, man. That's how you do it, right? You looked at structure and then it's all a game of probabilities. You just wait, look at, okay, it already completed structure and that's it. You just jump in. Yeah. And of course, right, like that also gives you confidence because I told you, yes, that's a buy I could have taken. But since we're analyzing, I only have one head. So yeah, but look at that. You did your analysis, looked at the structure completed, you put your alert, and then you entered the trade, and now you're pretty much in profit. So yeah, so good job with that. Yeah, EU will probably keep going. Yeah, I don't think we'll get any other trade for today. So I want US30 to keep going down, and then this reversal will be a good reversal. Anybody else with any questions? All right. For these questions, I'm not gonna. I said that I would be going over 6 questions every day. I don't think there's any need for that. But for you personally, just make it your own kind of homework thingy. Every day, go over the trading. So Trading in the Zone. If you haven't already bought that book, Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas, go ahead and buy it. It will be a game changer for your trading game. Remember, trading is an investment. You have to there's a saying, if you can't afford to pay even for these books or to buy these books for what, $50 maybe on Amazon or something, you cannot not afford to do it, right? Because if you can't afford to pay $50, right, that means you're probably not in a good financial situation. Trading can give you that financial freedom, so that means you cannot not afford to buy it. But anyway, I'm pretty sure you can get it elsewhere online. This survey, it's if you just Google Trading in the Zone Attitude Survey, it's the first link. So Trading in the Zone Attitude Survey is the first link by Blogger. So go over 6 questions every day, and you will definitely see an improvement in your trading. The other one, I don't know if Desire is in here today. Probably not. Is Desire in here?
Yeah.
Oh, that's you. Okay. I don't, yeah. I know you have like, okay, because I saw Sensei. So question for you. I know we had talked about 2 weeks ago, and I told you to put like a sticky note on your computer because you mentioned like sometimes you're having issues with revenge trading and also just FOMO. How, did you ever say, because I told you, like, for me, what worked for me, I put a sticky note on my monitor saying stick to your strategy. So did you ever do any of those things, and how has it worked out for you over the last 2 or so weeks?
Yeah, I did it at the starting of this month.
Mm-hmm.
So like I started last week on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So last week was a good week.
Mhm.
I just had like one losing trade, and it was the GBP GPY trade.
Yeah, I remember the one we were trying to catch. Yeah.
Yeah. I took it at the wrong time at the opening of the Asia session, and I went heavy on that. So that was my mistake of the last week. But I feel like I made less mistake last week.
Mhm.
So for now it's going well.
Okay. So the other question is, right, and it's good you had a winning week. Now the other question is, did you have a good winning week because you won trades that you did not know why you entered, like you FOMO'd, or has putting that sticky note or remembering to stick to your strategy, have you felt FOMO in the last 2 weeks, and then you're like, oh, I have this sticky note saying stick to my strategy, and I've improved on it, you know what I mean? So was it a good week before because you dealt with FOMO, but because you had that sticky note, you were like, no, I'm not going to enter this trade, right? So did you have instances where you felt FOMO and then you said, no, I'm not jumping in?
Yeah. I think it's both, because I was like most of the time when I was losing, it's because I was not patient enough. So when I was looking to the stick that I put on my screen, I was like, so I just need to be patient.
Mhm.
That's my big challenge, like being patient and being patient, even being patient when I'm in the winning position.
Mhm. No, that's good. Yeah. So the only thing that matters is progress. And I know Livy too. You sent me a screenshot of your sticky note. So hopefully even for you, you've been improving. Because the other thing you want to keep an eye out on, right? You just don't want to be winning. There's this saying, as a rising tide lifts all ships. So you don't want to be winning and not knowing why you're winning. So that's another reason why I asked you, like, oh, did you have opportunities to FOMO, but you're like, no, I'm not. I'm just gonna be patient. But so long as you're working on it, it's definitely not gonna happen overnight or something. But you'll definitely see that improvement, and that's all that matters. Like seeing that improvement and knowing that, oh wait, I could have FOMO'd in here and lost 2,000. You also get a good feeling that, oh wait, let me just stick to my strategy. So yeah, it's definitely not easy, but it helps, and it's definitely part of the journey. So congratulations. Wishing that you keep improving and all. Um,
Yeah,
any other
thank you.
Mhm. Any other person has anything? Okay. Let's see who else is here. Okay, so I see we have, so Livy, Audrey, Desire, do you have access to the indicators? Oh yeah, I already gave you because I had given you a one. You have access to all of them. You guys all in here should have access to all of them, right? Even the breakout one.
I just need the charts whenever you ready.
Okay. Oh, the charts is are you able to see? So you see like in Discord right here, are you able to see charts access? Because it should be a
Let me check
channel.
right now.
Yeah. Check in the Discord, because I put you guys in there, charts access, because that's why I posted it. See. See, change this.
We good. I got it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so hopefully, yeah, I'm still on vacation, but man, like, and plus I'm dealing with the merchant, like looking for another merchant to help with the taking of payments. So I've just been, I wasn't able to do the gold and EU markups for today, but normally once I get things back rolling, we'll be having all, and I'll be sharing the charts in there. So, but at least today you have the US 31. Yeah. Anybody else have any other questions? Audrey, I hope you're good. I think you have everything.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Do any of you guys have any questions regarding the, because I think other people dropped off. So I mean, you know, at least I know everybody in here, you guys have access to all the indicators. So has everything that I've gone over the indicators made sense? Like the settings and everything? Has it made sense to you guys?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, everything is good.
Perfect, perfect.
You answered the question I had already without me asking about how to kind of raise the probability of your reversal by just checking high time frame structure.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay, well that's good. Then if nobody else has any question, we'll just call it a day. And then we'll catch back tomorrow. In case of anything, feel free to shoot me a text or something. All right, bye guys.
Thank you.